Nikola Tesla relied on the power of visualization, and here's how to use it in your lifetime. This is on The Waking Times by Dylan Charles, editor. Although he was unique in many ways, one of the most fascinating aspects of Nikola Tesla's life was his extraordinary power of visualization. He was gifted with an unusually vivid imagination, and even from a very early age he was able to see things others could not. Quote, "If he thought of an object, it would appear before him exhibiting the appearance of solidity and massiveness. So greatly did these visions possess the attributes of actual objects that it was usually difficult for him to distinguish between vision and reality. This abnormal faculty functioned in a very useful fashion in his schoolwork with mathematics. This mental faculty had a profound effect on his career, and some of his most famous inventions, such as the AC, alternating current motor, and the Tesla coil, were envisioned in absolute detail in his mind's eye before he ever set anything to paper. Bernard Carlson, author of Tesla, Inventor of the Electric Age, writes, quote, "In conjuring up these schemes, Tesla realized the power of his ability to generate mental images. Not only could he use his imagination to undertake fantastic journeys, but he could also direct his talent towards creating new machines. He later claimed, I observed to my delight that I could visualize with the greatest facility. I needed no models, drawings, or experiments. I could picture them all as real in my mind." Moreover, for Tesla, working with mental images meant that he could concentrate on identifying and exploring the ideal behind an invention. End quote. This is what Bernard Carlson wrote. Tesla was ahead of his time in many regards, but his powers of visualization harken back to the original mystery schools. As noted in the Kybalion, which is the ancient tradition of Hermeticism, the all is mind. Hermeticism being that is you're alone and you're able to think like a hermit. The universe is mental. For a long time we have known that reality is first and foremost created within the mind. Quote, "Is there no third way in which man creates? Yes, there is. He creates mentally, and in so doing he uses no outside materials, nor does he reproduce himself, and yet his spirit pervades the mental creation. We are justified in considering that the all creates the universe mentally, in a manner akin to the process whereby man creates mental images. The all can create in no other way except mentally, without either using material, and there is none to use, or else reproducing itself, which is also impossible." This is according to what the Kybalion writes. Let's remember that Nikola Tesla's father was a priest, an Orthodox Christian priest, and his mother was a scientist. Now, inherent in our being human is the capacity to physically manifest ideas generated within the mind, and while some seem to have a greater natural ability for this than others, we all share the same anatomy. As such, we can all employ visualization with great effect in our lives. Deep within the brain is the pineal gland and a system of non-visual photoreceptors, which scientifically is known to help to synchronize us with the periodic rhythms of natural light. An internal eye, if you will. Not coincidentally, the gland is also known as the third eye, or the seat of the soul, because it widely recognized as part of the brain which connects us to spiritual experience and facilitates as our inner vision. It is with this mechanism of internal vision that the mind is able to project onto itself mental images of anything and everything. This is how we create reality. If we choose images that serve us well, outlives blossom, but if neglect to give attention to the mind's visions, we create chaos in our lives. Author Al Smith referred to this process as Imagineering, and relates it to the act of daydreaming, which, unlike night dreaming while we're asleep, is a form of conscious, intentional dreaming where we actively choose the images we wish to see. Quote, the mental images you consciously or unconsciously design, Imagineer, into your mental screen are totally understood by the collective subconscious. In other words, your daydreams largely dictate your reality. Your future is largely a reflection of the most recurrent images you displayed on your mind screen and the images of you of those who know you. The more times you mentally imagine a thing, the greater its chances of materializing into your reality. Think of daydreams as votes for events to happen in your future. It's the only true democracy, and it's perpetually happening inside your head all day long and throughout our universe. This is what Al Smith says in How We Create Reality. In the case of Tesla, much of this power came naturally to him, but as Smith points out, Imagineering is a conscious process. Bernard Carlson explains that it was an intentional practice of a combination of imagination, designing in the mind's eye, and persistence. This is a skill that can be strengthened with effort and practice, and anyone can do it so long as they try. Tesla was really only using a highly developed version of a mental capacity that we all share. Regarding how Tesla put these faculties into use, Bernard Carlson explains that it was an intentional practice of a combination of imagination, designing in the mind's eye, and persistence. As a simple but potent example of how powerful visualization can be, the following technique can show you. It's called the lemon visualization. If you want to radically transform your life for better, it's a great place to start. This is by Dylan Charles, editor of Waking Times, co-host of Redesigning Reality. This is Creative Commons, and it's on Waking Times. I'll leave a link below for you for this. Now just a few details on Nikola Tesla. He was born July 10th, 1856 in modern-day Croatia. At that time it was Smijan of the Austrian Empire, but it's today Croatia. He died January 7th, 1943 at the age of 86 in New York City. Resting place is Nikola Tesla Museum in Belgrade, Serbia. He was an Austrian citizen from 1856 to 1891 and an American citizen from 1891 to 1943. That's when he died. He received his education from Graz University of Technology, but he dropped out, and he became an engineer. Electrical engineering, mechanical engineering, projects, alternating current, high voltage, high frequency, power experiments. Patents. Tesla's many works memorized complete books, supposedly possessed a photographic memory. He was a polyglot. He spoke many languages, speaking 8 languages: Serbo-Croatian, Czech, English, French, German, Hungarian, Italian, and even Latin. Tesla related in his autobiography that he experienced detailed moments of inspiration, and during his early life, Tesla was repeatedly stricken with illness. He suffered a peculiar affliction in which blinding flashes of light would appear before his eyes, often accompanied by visions. Often the visions were linked to a word or idea he may have come across. At other times they would provide a solution to a particular problem he had encountered. Just by hearing the name of an item, he'd be able to envision it in realistic detail. Tesla would visualize an invention in his mind with extreme precision, including all dimensions, before moving to the construction stage, a technique sometimes known as picture thinking. He typically did not make drawings by hand, but worked from memory. Beginning his childhood, Tesla had frequent flashbacks to events that have happened previously in his life. He never married, explaining that his chastity was very helpful to his scientific abilities. He once said in earlier years that he felt he could never be worthy enough for a woman, considering women superior in every way. His opinion had started to sway in later years when he felt that women were trying to outdo men and make themselves more dominant. If you'd like to join me on my Patreon account, you will hear content not covered by mainstream media. These riveting stories will be based on my research, and I will state my opinions and give my personal insight on diverse and controversial subjects and world events not covered by mainstream media, and not supported by YouTube guidelines. So whatever I have on my Patreon, most of those will not be on my YouTube channel. Please consider becoming a member today. More of the most significant and important videos will be on my Patreon channel. Your support helps me to continue my research and keeps this YouTube channel alive. And we depend on your support, your generous charity, because we help economically challenged families here in Athens, Greece, in Kapota, and we also help the young generation with university tuition and the community around our church. Thank you.